Hi guys, Elle here. Welcome back. This video is gonna be about tarot journals. Can I just hang on a second? Ready? I'm gonna flip this. Can you guys see that? These are just some of my tarot journals. I'm kind of crazy when it comes to tarot study. Like, I take this shit seriously. I mean, this is like years and years of study. So yeah, I'm really excited to make this video. Watching other people's tarot journal videos has been so incredibly helpful to me in organizing, in how I go about getting all this stuff out and here and all that. I'm a study girl, you know? I enjoy hitting the books and hitting them hard. I'm very sort of right-brained, analytical. I need to study something to death. I need to know it inside and out. That's just how I learn. I need to write things and drill things into my head. I think that's actually, that's one of the reasons that I'm so drawn to the tarot, I think, because it really, you know, you can use that part of your brain, but it really makes you access that underutilized, intuitive, creative side, you know? Yeah, I mean, I even like to sprawl out and have huge tarot study sessions that last all night. I'll take over the entire living room, the kitchen table, and the floor. There'll be a tablet open, a computer, there'll be books, there'll be tarot cards everywhere, decks, and it's like a madhouse. But it's like the most fun a girl can have with tarot cards. Really, I love that aspect of the tarot. I really do enjoy just studying everything I can get my hands on and making it my own. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna start actually here. So this is how I tarot journaled for a really, really long time. That's these guys here. Mostly these guys. These like marble kind of notebook guys. I have them all sort of decorated too. Oh my god, that's a picture of a death card that I took in like high school. You know, just like marble notebooks. I have even more of these sort of strewn all over the house. But what they are really is just a place where I write anything and everything. Like the bulk of my journaling, I really do, still to this day, do in these sort of marble notebooks. I guess I'll show you a bits. It's random stuff. Like, what is this? This is the Hermit. So this was some writing and maybe a reading I did where I did some interpreting here. But there's spider diagrams and train of thought, stream of consciousness stuff. My own card interpretations. Anything and everything related to tarot sort of makes its way in here, but it's completely unorganized. And yeah, that's just sort of how I did things for a long time. There's some wish lists in there. And I would even sometimes take like little notebooks with me and carry them around and do that kind of stuff too. So what I actually ended up learning from YouTube videos and things like that and reading about other people's tarot journals was how I could organize all this stuff into sort of a handy resource for myself. And I love having this. So these other sort of notebooks here, this was my first one. Isn't that pretty? It actually, you see him moving? It's like the cover of a Tea Party album I put on there. Anyway, this is the first sort of organized tarot journal that I did. And it's still, I think I still have a few blank pages I can actually add on to it a little bit still. So, oh, can you guys see that? Wait, let me get centered. There we go. I always decorate with pictures. But really what I did here was, where does it start? It starts here. Like this is the Magician up here. And I left out, or I blocked out like 4 or 5 pages maybe here to just sort of go and write just about the Magician. And then so for ease of finding things, I put a little number
up in the corner here, a little Roman numeral, so I can find each one. Can you see that? There's 10, so that I know I'm at a Wheel of Fortune page here. So really what's in here though is card interpretations from books and online and things I've read, all 100% put into my own words, so it makes sense out of the context of the book, and then all my own personal card meanings, things that I've discovered, things that I've learned, blah, blah, blah. It's all there, and it's just such a good resource. Here, actually, I bookmarked this page. Oh, that page with my little scarab, and this is where starts Queen of Wands. Well, anyway, the wands start here, so the rest of the book, all of this, is the minors. And if you flip through, can you see that? Every other page has the name of the card up there, so I can find that really, really quickly, too. And then, what was the last thing I put in this baby here? Oh, I tied a little ribbon onto it, so I have a little bookmark. But, yeah, this is, oh, I left maybe like 10 pages out for a little numerology. We might be adding on to that with the orbital tarot. Anyway, there's that, some numerology information organized. And then, oh, I left a page out here for each of the courts. And then I did leave a bunch of blank pages in the back to add all my spreads into. So we got spreads, you know. More spreads. And I still have a couple blanks, I think, back there to add some more spreads into. But while making this, and after making it and really using it and working with having my own personal reference for the entire 78 cards, I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic. It was even kind of fun to go through all my old journals and see all the things I had discovered again, organize all those thoughts that I had into something that I was really gonna hang on to and use as a reference. So the first thing that happened from there, however, was I realized I had nowhere near enough room. It exploded. And I really needed or wanted at that time to work with the court cards first, a little bit more intimately. Court cards can be rough, right? So I got this little guy here, and he became my court card book. And he's kind of old at this point. His pages are falling out. But I did the same thing here, where I left myself some room and, you know, marked out each page. Again, if I flip through, you can find everything up here in the corner very easily. But this is just a book solely devoted to working with and studying the court cards a little bit more. Court card book. And I did the same thing with these guys here. This is sort of really where I'm at right now. Actually or I just started this one. But this one became my minor arcana journal. I needed a lot more space. I just didn't have enough in there. I had so much overflowing information in my marble notebooks again, because that's what happens, right? When you're studying tarot forever and ever, your understanding of it grows and grows and grows, and it changes so much over time that I think I'll probably constantly be updating this kind of stuff. And that's not to say that I don't still use this as a reference. I totally do. But I needed some expanding on, so I did the same thing in here. Aren't these books pretty, by the way? These were sort of hanging around my house for a really long time. I didn't know what I wanted to use them for. And then it clicked, my tarot journal. Decorated, and there's the Two of Wands, and here I was able to leave a lot more pages. I think I have like 5 or 6 pages for each card. So I can really just, you know, let her rip and sort of go with that. And then again, the same thing is up there in the corner. Your you know, what cards you can find it really quick. And then this is the one I'm working on now. I had left myself quite a bit more space on this guy here for the major arcana. I had, what, like 8 pages total maybe for each card in there. So I only just, last year, a couple years or whatever, really ran out of room in there. And started this guy. He's a much thicker version of that minor arcana card. Minor arcana book. But yeah, he's starting to get decorated a little bit. And I had some extra room to play here too, so I'm gonna add some more things to this journal, which I thought was really fun. This is some runic information, and then I left a couple of pages. Oh, I started this one already. For each rune, and I can go through and organize all my rune information. So the first few pages are runes, and I have written the rune up in the corner there. Can you see that? And then it goes into what, Hebrew? I think I have a page for each Hebrew letter. Oh, it's coming up. There it is, Thou. So that'll be where I can organize all my Hebrew meanings and associations there. And then we get into 0. There it is, the Fool. So this will sort of become, and I already numbered it. Sometimes counting out the pages for this can be the hardest thing. What am I working on now? This is temperance I was writing in? Yeah, so this is, I started sort of writing more and more about temperance. But yeah, counting out the pages is sort of the most kind of obnoxious thing about journaling this way. If I was smart, I would get one of those like 3-ring binders that you can just add pages into so that you don't have like 50 million reference journals. But I don't know, I love the way these old books and these made books, they're just, I don't know, they feel very special to me. What else can I show you here? I do have a couple of journals. This was my original rune journal where I took all my crazy information and then organized it in here. That's basically like the same, organized the same exact way as my tarot stuff is. You can see if I flip through the corners there, you can see the rune changes, so it's easy to find. And then this one doesn't have too much in it yet, but this is my Lenormand, my Sibylla, my playing card place, and the same thing. Each corner is has the writing on it of the card, suit and number and all that. Isn't that a pretty one? Oh, I just love that book. And then I think the only other thing I pulled from all my Marvel notebooks was this guy, where I sort of just, I'll open it up real quick. That actually have a 3-ring binder in here too. Yeah, and I have some folders. I still have some more notebooks in here. But it's a place to store all the sort of dittos and printouts and things that I've accumulated. Honestly, most of this stuff now kind of lives on my computer. This one actually here, this is from a rune class I took with Freya Aswin, who's a wonderful, wonderful teacher. Oh, she's just amazing, an author and very cool lady. It's a ditto we got from her class, and you know, back then you really didn't have the kind of storage on computers that you have now. But that's what all this stuff is, sort of things that I wanted to hang on to, and loose papers that have fallen out of my marble notebooks as they've fallen apart over the years. But it's another place, another storehouse of random tarot thoughts and information. I like it because it's in this beautiful like leather binder that my stepfather brought back for me from Italy, I think. Italian leather. Ho ho ho. So really what ends up happening is I end up taking all of my notes, all of my thoughts, and reorganizing them and rewriting them in those reference journals, as I call them. And I feel like I should mention this. Although I spend so much time studying and learning meanings and figuring out what's really happening in every single card and all that study stuff, it's not like when I do a tarot reading, I have like, you know, instant recall to all this knowledge. I absorb it and it becomes that card for me. I really have absorbed it. But that's just not necessarily how I read tarot. Like if you were, I guess if you were to lay some cards out here, if I were to, and you had, you know, my tarot journal open, and I started reading how I was interpreting the cards there, and you were like, that's not what this says here, you know, where are you getting that from? I think there's something really cool that happens when you're reading the cards,
where that meaning might get channeled through all that information that you've accumulated about the particular card, but it sort of becomes something else. You know, you're using your intuition, and the card meanings are constantly changing. There's this quote from, or there's this part in Yoav Bendov's book where he talks about how he asked his teacher, Alejandro Jodorowsky, you know, I think it was the Empress, he asked him, what does the Empress card mean to you? And Jodorowsky was like, I could tell you what it means to me today, no problem. He's like, but tomorrow it might have a completely different meaning to me. And I love that. Because it really does. It changes every single time. And I don't just mean it changes because of the card next to it. No, it changes based on the flashes you get, the images you get, the feelings you get, the energies that are working through you, and where you're being guided to go through the range of meaning in that card. You know, it can be so... Sometimes it even has nothing to do with that range of meaning, you know? Sometimes it doesn't. It's like, why do all this tarot study in the first place if the card meaning is going to change so much every single time? But, you know, it needs to be done. It's got to be done. That's how you learn. And it's a fun process. Yeah, one thing I've never really done with my tarot journaling is keep a separate notebook for specific individual decks. If there's information that I want to talk about that's on a specific card that I really want to remember, or that I need to dig into, or that I need to work through, it would be done just in here on a random page. And then if the information was worth hanging on to, it would then go into my reference journal. I love that I just came up with a name for that. I didn't really call them that until I started filming this. They're my reference journals. I like that. Yeah. So if I was like talking about, you know, a card, and I don't know, the Orbifold Tarot or something that I was working out, and these are very different looking than, you know, any other deck really. Yeah, I'd have no problem seeing an explanation of like an image in the Orbifold Tarot being explained next to a list of interpretations of that card on whole, and from lots of different decks, and just the tarot in general. I think it all belongs together, you know. Did we cover all my journals? I think we did. Yeah. So that's the craziness that is my tarot studies over the last 15 years and right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.